This is going to be a new experience, being that I'm not naming names or saying who. So I used to have a very bad habit of saying okay or whatever, with the parent or educator's name in the very beginning. So I'm going to have to come up with a different opening, a bad one as normal. Okay. This is a good question. This has to do with initial eligibility. Can a district delay or deny a full independent evaluation? That's what FIE means. On a preschooler with a long history of recurrent ear infections and moderate hearing loss due to the child not being compliant with hearing aids yet. All right, because we're talking about a preschooler here. Now, the child has significant amount of private speech therapy and well-documented language disorder or delay. District initiated the evaluation in a timely manner, but then halted the evaluation in the middle of the team eval, stating the child couldn't be evaluated until wearing the hearing aids consistently, and now they're over their timeline requirement. So, can a school do that? No, they can't. We don't blame the child, all right? The only caveat in the law with regards to the strict 60-day timeline after a parent provides consent, the only caveat in it is if the parent moves to a different school district during the evaluation process, then the school system isn't going to get dinged or in trouble for not complying with the timeline, the strict 60-day timeline, from the time of consent being signed to the end of the 60 days. All right, unless you live in a state that, has it as business days, calendar days, but it's 60 days, which I don't understand how some of those states are getting away with it, because the federal law says 60 days. Okay. So this is the actual federal law that I'm going to be reading from, okay? The federal IDEA. And it says that the exceptions to the rule are if the child enrolls in a school served by another LEA. I just said that. And the second one is if the parent of a child repeatedly fails or refuses to produce the child for the evaluations. Well, you're not refusing, are you? And you're producing your child. It's not you. It's your child. And so because we serve the whole child globally, all right? That's the whole intent of this. It's a safety net program. So if we are serving the child, then we've got to take into consideration that other deficit areas may be impacting the ability for them to do their full evaluation, which means that they're either ignorant of those other factors. Let's say social emotional deficits that include behavior. Well, let's say it's medically or sensory wise, it might be painful for the child. I could come up with a myriad of reasons why your child is not acclimated yet to wearing hearing aids. But to sit there and stop the evaluation saying, well, your child's the impediment. Do you know how many clients I have that are impediments to evaluations and assessments, to where I have evaluation after evaluation after evaluation, and I read that every once in a while it says they could not condition the child for testing. What it does is it only sort of magnifies the fact that the child does in fact need specialized instruction and supports and accommodations and therapy. But in the educational performance area of social, emotional, including behavior, that right there is a behavior. And they can find ways around that in order to be in compliance. But if they're outside of those 60 days, and they're outside of those 60 days not because of your non-compliance or because you guys don't live there, they're out of compliance because they're using the responses of the child, basically blaming your child for why they can't do their job. And we don't blame children. There's nothing in the law that ever shifts blame to the child with a disability. Not one time. This is an adult issue. It's a school adult issue, and it's a parent adult issue. The child is our focus. The child has a disability. The child is in need of specialized instruction and accommodations.
And I know that everybody likes to sit there, and that's the easy thing, to sit there and blame children. And I'm talking about parents too. You know, everybody, they do something wrong. I mean, you know, we can't just chalk it up. And I'm including myself. I'm a parent as well. You know, sometimes it's very hard for us to just chalk it up as a dysregulated human that does not have proper brain function and emotional regulation because they're dysregulated, just naturally, though on top of it, a disability. And, you know, they require more patience, and they require differentiated instruction, and they require accommodations. It is just what happens. So to have them stop the process is abhorrent. And quite frankly, they're in violation, and your child would be entitled to compensatory education services for all this time that they've missed. And I'm talking backdating to when they suspected or should have known that your child was a child in need of specialized instruction and had a qualifying disability. You would be entitled to compensatory or remedial services or makeup services for all of that time frame. Make sure that they do a thorough evaluation to rule out things like autism. You know, it's a big spectrum, and I know it's a scary word to a lot of parents. You know, it's not a scary word to me. I mean, I've got a 16-year-old with autism, but I'm just saying, when I see, and I'm not a doctor, I'm just a lawyer, okay? But I see files all the time, and I see all these factors that come in there, and I'm just saying, rule it out. You know, I don't, unless it's already a diagnostic feature, I don't know, but I frequently see children with gut issues, recurring ear infections at that age, you know, not meeting developmental milestones, whatever, you know, some of those things are markers. And so it's just better to be proactive and have that ruled out as a possibility. I just wanted to throw that in, even though you didn't ask that question. Well, I mean, that's it. Okay. I'd tell you to give me an update, and I guess you can through private message. But I mean, we've made changes on the page, and I appreciate everybody's flexibility and patience with us trying to figure this out and keeping everybody that has asked questions or that will be asking questions private. Okay? Thank you.